if your legs feel weak, if standing up is harder than it used to be, if walking makes you feel unstable or tired, listen carefully because this message could change how long you stay independent. Leg weakness is not just aging, it's muscle starvation, poor circulation, and nerve decline, and most people are feeding their legs the wrong things. Today I'm going to tell you one food you should eat every single day if you want stronger legs, better balance, and fewer falls, even into your 80s and 90s. And no, it's not a supplement. This stunt's not a drug. It's something simple, natural, and proven. The problem most people ignore, after age 40 we lose 1-2% of muscle every year if we don't actively protect it. By 70 that muscle loss accelerates. By 90, many people lose the ability to stand without help. Why? Because muscles in the legs need three things: protein to rebuild, minerals to contract, healthy fats to reduce inflammation and nourish nerves. Most diets today are high in sugar, refined carbs, and seed oils, all of which destroy muscle signaling and blood flow. Most people believe weak legs are simply part of getting older. They're told it's normal to slow down, to struggle getting out of a chair, to feel unstable while walking. But that belief is one of the most damaging lies in modern health. Aging itself does not steal your strength. Neglect does. What most people call old age is actually years of muscle starvation, poor circulation, and silent nerve decline that finally show up where it hurts the most, the legs. Your legs are the largest muscles in your body. They demand more oxygen, more nutrients, and more nerve stimulation than almost any other area. When those needs are not met, the body begins to conserve energy. It starts breaking muscle down instead of building it up. This process, known as sarcopenia, begins as early as your 30s and accelerates after 50, but it is not inevitable. It is a response to lack of proper input. One of the biggest reasons legs weaken with age is the drastic reduction in protein intake. As people get older, appetite drops, digestion slows, and meals become smaller and less nutrient dense. Muscles don't hear the signal to rebuild anymore. Without enough amino acids, especially leucine, the body simply doesn't get the message to maintain strength. The legs shrink not because you are old, but because your muscles are being underfed day after day. Another overlooked factor is circulation. Blood flow to the legs decreases when inflammation rises and blood vessels stiffen. Sugar, refined carbohydrates, and processed oils damage the inner lining of arteries, reducing oxygen delivery to muscle tissue. When muscles don't receive enough oxygen, they fatigue quickly and recover poorly. Over time, this creates the false belief that walking is too hard and should be avoided, which only worsens the problem. Nerve decline is also a silent contributor. Muscles move only when nerves tell them to contract. Poor nutrition, especially deficiencies in B vitamins, healthy fats, and choline, weakens the connection between nerves and muscles. When that signal fades, muscles become sluggish and unresponsive. Balance suffers, coordination declines, falls become more common. Again, this is not age, it's nutritional neglect. What's dangerous is how society normalizes this process. People are told, you're just getting older. Instead of being told the truth, you're losing muscle because your body no longer receives the building blocks it needs. Once that message sinks in, people stop fighting. They stop moving. They stop nourishing themselves properly. And that's when real decline sets in. As a surgeon, you see the consequences up close. Weak legs lead to falls. Falls lead to fractures. Fractures lead to surgeries, hospital stays, and often permanent loss of independence. And what's tragic is that many of these outcomes could have been prevented with simple, consistent daily habits long before the fall ever happened. The human body is incredibly adaptive, even at advanced ages. Studies show that people in their 70s, 80s, and even 90s can rebuild muscle when given the right nutrition and stimulus. Muscle tissue does not have an expiration date. It responds to signals. Feed it correctly and it responds. Starve it and it disappears. Another critical issue is fear. Many older adults fear movement because they feel weak, but weakness comes from not using the muscles, not from using them. Gentle movement actually increases blood flow, improves nerve signaling, and tells the body it still needs strength. The legs respond quickly when they're finally given attention. The modern diet works against this process. Ultra-processed foods provide calories without nourishment. They spike insulin, increase inflammation, and accelerate muscle breakdown. At the same time, people are warned unnecessarily about foods that support strength, leaving them nutritionally deprived. The result is a body that survives but doesn't thrive. Weak legs are not a destiny, they are a warning sign, a signal that the body has been running in deficit mode for too long. When you correct that deficit, when you supply proper protein, essential fats, minerals, and vitamins, the body shifts gears. Muscle preservation becomes possible again. Stability improves, confidence returns. The most empowering truth is this: the body doesn't care about your age, it cares about what you do daily. Muscles respond to what you eat, how you move, and whether you give them a reason to stay strong. Change the input and the output changes. If you've been told there's nothing you can do about weak legs, understand this clearly. That advice is outdated and dangerous. Strength is not reserved for the young. It is maintained by those who refuse to starve their muscles and stop moving. If your legs are not failing you, they're asking for help. When it comes to rebuilding and protecting leg strength, the body does not respond to trends, marketing, or hype. It responds to nutrients it recognizes. That's why one of the most misunderstood yet powerful foods for muscle strength, especially in the legs, is the whole leg. Simple, affordable, natural, and incredibly effective. Eggs are not just protein, they are a biological blueprint for building life, and that same blueprint is what makes them so powerful for preserving muscle, nerve function, and balance as we age. Every single part of the egg works together in a way no supplement ever can. Muscle does not grow or maintain itself automatically. It requires a very specific signal. That signal comes primarily from an amino acid called leucine. Leucine is the switch that tells your body, build muscle now. Without enough of it, protein simply gets burned for energy instead of used for repair. Eggs are one of the richest natural sources of leucine, and the body absorbs it extremely efficiently. That's critical, especially for older adults whose digestion is not as strong as it once was. But protein alone is not enough. Muscles don't function in isolation. They depend on nerves, blood flow, hormones, and minerals. Eggs provide choline, a nutrient most people are deficient in. Choline is essential for nerve-to-muscle communication. Without it, muscles don't fire properly. Movements become slow, weak, and uncoordinated. Balance suffers, falls become more likely. Eggs help restore that communication pathway, allowing muscles to respond the way they're supposed to. Then there's vitamin D, another key component found in eggs. Vitamin D is not just a bone vitamin, it's a muscle vitamin. Low vitamin D levels are strongly associated with leg weakness, poor balance, and increased fall risk. Vitamin D helps muscles contract with strength and precision. Without it, muscles fatigue faster and recover more slowly. Eggs provide a natural source of vitamin D that works synergistically with the fats in the yolk, improving absorption. The fats themselves are just as important. Muscles and nerves are surrounded by fatty membranes. These membranes must stay flexible and healthy for proper signaling. Eggs contain healthy fats that reduce inflammation and support nerve integrity. Chronic inflammation is one of the fastest ways to accelerate muscle loss, especially in the legs where circulation is already challenged. Eggs help calm that inflammation, allowing muscles to heal and rebuild. One of the biggest mistakes people make is eating only egg whites. When you remove the yolk, you remove most of the nutrition. The yolk contains choline, vitamin D, vitamin E, and antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin that protect cells from oxidative stress. Muscle aging is accelerated by oxidative damage. Eggs help defend against that at the cellular level. Another critical factor is digestibility. As people age, they often struggle to digest heavy meats or large meals. Eggs are one of the easiest high-quality proteins to digest. That means more nutrients actually make it into the bloodstream instead of being wasted. The easier a food is to digest, the more likely it is to support muscle maintenance long term. There has been unnecessary fear around eggs for decades, largely due to outdated cholesterol myths. The truth is this: dietary cholesterol does not clog your arteries. In fact, cholesterol is required for hormone production, including hormones that support muscle maintenance. The body tightly regulates cholesterol levels. What damages arteries is sugar, refined carbohydrates, and chronic inflammation, not eggs. Leg muscles especially rely on hormonal signals to stay strong. Testosterone, estrogen, and growth factors all play a role in muscle preservation, even in older adults. Eggs support the raw materials needed for those hormones to function properly. Removing eggs from the diet often leads to nutritional gaps that quietly weaken the legs over time. What makes eggs truly unique is how complete they are. They don't just provide isolated nutrients, they provide them in ratios the body understands. Supplements can overwhelm one pathway while neglecting another. Eggs nourish the entire system: muscle fibers, nerves, blood vessels, and joints simultaneously. This is why research consistently shows that people who eat eggs regularly have better muscle mass, stronger grip strength, faster walking speed, and improved functional performance as they age. These are not small benefits. These are the differences between independence and dependence. Consistency matters. Muscles respond to daily signals, not occasional efforts. Eating 1 to 3 whole eggs per day provides a steady, reliable message to the body: maintain strength, protect muscle, stay capable over weeks and months. That signal adds up. Strong legs are not built overnight. They are preserved through daily nourishment. Eggs provide that nourishment in one of the most efficient forms nature has ever created. Independence is something most people don't think about until it begins to slip away. It's the ability to stand up without assistance, to walk without fear, to move through your day without constantly looking for something to hold on to. And more often than not, the deciding factor between independence and dependence is leg strength. When the legs weaken, life shrinks. One of the greatest threats to independence as we age is falling. Falls are not random accidents. They are the result of declining muscle strength, slower nerve response, and poor balance. The legs are responsible for stabilizing the body, absorbing impact, and correcting movement. When they are weak, even a small misstep can turn into a life-altering injury. This is why maintaining leg strength is not about vanity or fitness. It's about survival and quality of life. Daily nutrition plays a massive role in this process. The body needs consistent input to preserve muscle tissue, especially in the legs where muscle mass naturally declines first. When that input is missing, the body prioritizes essential organs and allows muscle to waste away. Over time, this leads to slower walking speed, difficulty climbing stairs, and trouble standing from a seated position. These are early warning signs that independence is at risk. When the body receives proper nourishment on a daily basis, something powerful happens. Muscle breakdown slows, repair mechanisms activate, the nervous system becomes more responsive, movements become smoother and more controlled, balance improves, confidence returns. These changes may feel subtle at first, but they compound over time. Research consistently shows that older adults who maintain adequate protein and nutrient intake have better functional mobility. That means they can walk farther, stand longer, and recover faster after activity. These abilities directly translate to independence, being able to shop, cook, clean, and move without relying on others. Balance is one of the first things to deteriorate when leg strength declines. Balance is not just an inner ear issue, it's a muscular one. The legs make constant micro adjustments to keep the body upright. Strong muscles respond quickly to shifts in weight. Weak muscles respond slowly or not at all. Proper daily nutrition supports those muscles so they can react instantly when needed. Another overlooked aspect of independence is confidence. When people feel weak, They become cautious, they take shorter steps, they move less, they avoid activity. This creates a downward spiral where less movement leads to more weakness, which leads to even less movement. The body adapts to inactivity by becoming weaker. Daily nourishment helps break that cycle by giving muscles the resources they need to respond positively to movement. Daily nutritional support also helps preserve walking speed, which is one of the strongest predictors of longevity and independence. Studies show that slower walking speed is associated with higher risk of disability and hospitalization. Stronger legs allow for a natural, confident stride. This is not about walking fast, it's about walking well. One of the biggest mistakes people make is waiting until weakness becomes severe before taking action. By the time someone needs a cane or walker, muscle loss has already been occurring for years. Daily habits earlier in life and even later can significantly delay or prevent this outcome. The body responds remarkably well when it finally receives consistent support. Independence is not just physical, it's psychological. The ability to rely on your own body builds confidence and reduces anxiety. Fear of falling is one of the most common reasons older adults limit activity. That fear itself increases fall risk. Stronger legs reduce fear, improve posture, and promote natural movement patterns. It's also important to understand that muscle preservation supports joint health. Strong muscles take pressure off the knees, hips, and ankles. This reduces pain and stiffness, making movement easier and more enjoyable. When movement feels better, people move more. Movement then reinforces strength. It's a positive feedback loop. Daily nourishment helps maintain muscle tone that protects joints and improves shock absorption. This is critical for everyday tasks like stepping off a curb, getting out of a car, or carrying groceries. These movements require leg strength, coordination, and stability working together. Another key factor is recovery. As we age, recovery from physical stress takes longer. Proper daily nutrition supports faster recovery, allowing people to stay active without excessive fatigue or soreness. When recovery improves, consistency improves, and consistency is what preserves independence. Strong legs also support circulation. Muscle contraction helps pump blood back to the heart, reducing swelling and improving oxygen delivery to tissues. Better circulation means better endurance and less fatigue during daily activities. This makes movement feel easier instead of exhausting. The truth is simple but powerful. Independence is built daily. It's built with what you eat, how you move, and whether you give your body the resources it needs to function. You don't lose independence overnight, you lose it slowly through neglect. But the opposite is also true. Independence can be preserved, strengthened, and extended through daily care. Strong legs give you freedom. Freedom to move. Freedom to live on your terms. You don't need extreme workouts, you don't need complicated routines, you need consistency. Nourish your body daily, move it gently but regularly, respect the signals it gives you. Because in the end, independence is not about age, it's about preparation, and strong legs are the foundation that keep you standing, walking, and living life fully for as long as possible. There is a simple truth that gets overlooked in modern health advice. Nutrition alone will not save weak legs, and movement alone will not sustain them. The real solution, the one that actually works long term, is a combination of proper nourishment and consistent movement. One without the other is incomplete. Together they create strength, stability, and resilience at any age. Muscles exist for one purpose: to be used. When muscles are not used, the body assumes they are no longer needed and begins breaking them down. This process accelerates with age, but it is driven primarily by inactivity. At the same time, even active muscles cannot stay strong if they are underfed. Movement creates demand. Nutrition supplies the materials. Both are required. One of the biggest mistakes people make is relying on supplements instead of habits. Supplements can support health, but they cannot replace real food or real movement. Muscle tissue does not respond to pills, it responds to signals. Those signals come from resistance, weight-bearing activity, and nutrient availability. Without these signals, muscles remain dormant. Movement does not have to be extreme. In fact, aggressive workouts often do more harm than good, especially for aging joints. What muscles need is regular activation. Walking is one of the most powerful and underrated forms of movement for leg health. It stimulates circulation, activates major leg muscles, and reinforces balance. When done daily, walking sends a clear message to the body: these muscles are needed. Simple body weight movements, standing up from a chair, gentle squats, heel raises, and step-ups activate muscles that are essential for daily life. These are functional movements. They train the body to do what it needs to do every day: stand, walk, climb, and stabilize. Combined with proper nutrition, these movements help preserve strength and coordination. Nutrition provides the raw materials muscles need to respond to movement. Without adequate protein, muscles cannot repair or grow. Without healthy fats, nerves cannot communicate efficiently. Without minerals and vitamins, muscles fatigue quickly and cramp easily. Food is not fuel alone. It is information that tells the body how to adapt. When movement and nutrition work together, recovery improves, muscles repair faster, inflammation decreases, energy levels stabilize. This allows for consistency, which is the most important factor in long-term strength. Sporadic effort does not build resilience, daily habits do. Another key benefit of this combination is hormonal support. Movement stimulates the release of hormones that protect muscle tissue, while nutrition provides the building blocks those hormones need to function properly. This synergy is especially important as natural hormone levels decline with age. The right habits help offset that decline. Balance improves dramatically when muscles are both nourished and used. Balance is a skill that depends on strength, nerve response, and coordination. Movement trains these systems. Nutrition maintains them. When either is missing, balance suffers. When both are present, stability improves and fall risk decreases. Joint health also benefits from this combination. Strong muscles support joints, reducing stress on cartilage and ligaments. Proper nutrition supports joint lubrication and reduces inflammation. Together, they make movement smoother and less painful. When movement feels good, people are more likely to stay active. Consistency is more important than intensity. Muscles respond better to daily, moderate effort than to occasional extreme effort. The body thrives on routine. Eating well most days and moving most days creates an environment where strength is maintained naturally. Fear is often the biggest barrier to movement. People worry about pain, injury, or falling, but the greatest risk comes from not moving at all. Weak muscles are unstable muscles. Gentle, controlled movement strengthens muscles and improves confidence. Nutrition supports this process by reducing soreness and improving recovery. Another overlooked factor is posture. Strong legs support proper posture, which improves breathing, circulation, and overall energy. Movement reinforces posture. Nutrition supports the muscles that maintain it. This creates a chain reaction of benefits throughout the body. The idea that aging automatically leads to frailty is outdated. Frailty is not an age, it is a condition caused by neglect. The body is remarkably adaptable when given the right conditions. Even later in life, muscles can respond, strengthen, and stabilize. The most powerful changes are often the simplest. Eat real nutrient-dense foods consistently. Move your body every day in ways that support daily life. Avoid long periods of sitting. Listen to your body, but don't let fear control it. Strength is not built in one day. It is built quietly through repetition. Every meal is an opportunity.